And Rubik picked up on Haven Liberty, and Witch Doctor Underlord Void Spirit on Beast Coast. The Void Spirit is able to be played in a number of different roles. The 4 and the mid, I feel like, are the 2 most common for him. But this tournament, we've almost exclusively seen him in the mid lane, haven't we?
For the most part.
Yeah, so it's mostly been that. Quinn has had some amazing games on the Void Spirit, like almost deathless. Went like 17-1 on this other game. So we'll see if Tomato's able to match that. Now that he's replacing Chris Luck. Grimstroke taking next here. Okay, all right. What are you thinking?
Something a little bit different. I mean, I'm just happy with the Grimstroke. A little bit different, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Happy to see it. Here with the Witch Doctor, I mean, that means there's no Ancient Apparition. I get a little bit worried about Sven just two-shotting you within the God Strength.
I get a little bit worried about that one as well. Not that AA would stop them from doing that, but it does stop the sustain he has in these team fights. You know, when you've got like the lifesteal on the Sven, you've got a couple items on the Wisp behind him, it just becomes too difficult to bring him down, right? So without
Invoker. Okay. So this is what, Hiko Invoker? Or are they gonna move Hiko from the mid lane, you think?
It's probably gonna be Hiko and Invoker in the mid lane. Again, you have the Wisp picked up, you have Rubik. When you have the Invoker in the pool, I think it's a little bit too weird with it. Trying to run like mid Rubik when you have an Invoker on your team. It's an option. Again, like I said, a Hiko specialty, but this game I don't think that's what they're going to run here. So last set of bans coming out for both these teams. AA not really fitting into the plan here for Haven Liberty, I think. So they probably won't waste a ban on it on Beast Coast, as good as it would be. I'm really liking this Grimstroke, like you said. It's something a little bit different. It's not the best in the world.
Yeah, it seems like a support that just might not be it. I don't know. There might be a reason we're not seeing this Grimstroke.
Radiant team ban.
They ban out the Centaur, ban out Spectre, and Lifestealer. Be honest, Spectre a little bit too close to Spectrum, the worst internet provider on the planet, giving me a little PTSD.
All my heroes for Beast Coast are frozen at the moment.
They're fine on my end.
Let's see.
Tomato mid. So we've seen Tomato this event too, and Tomato's looked good.
Yeah, he has. He stood in before. Beast Coast has done this quite a bit with these online events, just swapping the players around. Again, some of them having internet issues. Hector K1, of course, his internet just completely goes down from time to time. But Chris Luck,
idea how that feels.
Yeah, up in the mountains, 8 megabytes a second or something like that. Mars picked up now for Haven Liberty. They could use that with the Cataclysm. Okay. Just adjusting my mic a little bit here. I'll give it a little bit of a boost because it sounds like we're having some problems. I think this is as loud as it can go. I think this is fine, though. Now we should be about the same level if I talk loud enough. Will annoy my cats slightly, but hopefully they don't start attacking my door or they think there's something wrong with me. And lastly, the Terrorblade picked up. All right.
Ooh, and Terrorblade's been very strong. That's the Hector Terrorblade. We've seen like Costa Bile play that Terrorblade. I think we've seen Hector on this Terrorblade a couple times. I think the only bad game we saw was from Hector was when he was on that Gyro.
Yeah, he had a not so great game on the Sven, I think once as well. But Beast Coast they started coming into this tournament extremely solid. Then they lost a couple of games. They're still looking pretty good. Maybe with Tomato swapping out of Chris Luck, it'll be a little bit better. So we'll see. Either way, I'm excited to see what Tomato can pull off here with K1 Hector and Haven Liberty. It's very important that they show what they can do here. course, Hiko Invoker isn't something I've seen a whole lot of. I'm interested in seeing what he can pull off here. He plays these very high skill supports, so it would make sense that he's an excellent Invoker player. The only question is, you know, you're on this high ping, I think. Actually, let me double check what his ping is. Morius, 83, yeah. You normally, like, you're very happy playing Invoker on land. You're happy playing it when you're close to servers. Anything like 83 is close to 100. You're not having such a good time with, like, these low cast point spells, being able to really take it to the enemies with it. But we'll see what he can accomplish here. Beast Coast's lineup, I think I'm preferring a little bit, partially because we get to see the Grimstroke, which is a different hero. But I think they don't really have anything that couples enough with this Mars. Like, trapping people in with Sven is great. Trapping people in with a Cataclysm is great. But it's not the same as, like, a Cataclysm to an Axe Call or a Chronosphere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the Cataclysm, I'm just thinking, might still be good enough. Yeah. With just the Mars Arena, because, you know, you got to think about the radius or the diameter of a Sunstrike. 2 of them, especially if multiple heroes are within that arena.
Mm-hmm. Look at them. They love each other. This isn't like the Beast Coast Thunder Predator matchup that we talk about. Those guys hate each other, but it makes watching the games against 2 of them so entertaining. All right, so we got RDO and Duster here in the top lane. You know, 2 best friends, Sven and Wisp, which has changed again and again over the years. You know, it feels like Wisp kind of lets his friends down. Like the first most popular one was like the Chaos Knight and the Wisp back when Tether stunned people. The Tiny and the Wisp became very popular with those relocate ganks. And now, and then Gyro Wisp, and now we're in Sven Wisp era. Feels like Wisp will tether just about anyone for attention.
I'm interested to see the Sven, because we've seen the Sven Wisp combo a couple of times moving around the map, especially once that Wisp hits that level 3. Having relocate on you know, a low cooldown where you can move around the map very easily and secure a bunch of farm.
Yep.
Firestorm goes back for the bounty, doesn't pick it up. Whisper grabs it.
Ooh, that feels bad. Oh, you do get the tether away, though. Your health dropped mighty low there, and all you've got is this headdress. He's going to have to send himself out some extra regen right away.
Getting greedy with it.
Yeah, in fact, I'm going to give a little bit of boost to my mic as well. Just a second. So I'm going to go up to you just slightly. There we go. Just right very slightly. Yeah, I'm right in your ear now.
ASMR Neph stream. It feels like you're in the same room as me.
Really?
6 foot distance, of course, but...
Yeah, and just kind of shouting directly into the Wiimote.
Into the Wiimote?
Okay. Remember that Hey You Pikachu game? Nintendo has always been ahead of the game.
Yeah. I mean, I think they've been ahead of the game. I think they should remake Wii Sports. Switch Sports. Come on. Give me something the same but different.
I want to see them mix up. I want to see them change the game. Speaking of changing the game, you know, I want to see what this Grimstroke is capable of. Almost got that first blood onto Duster. Of course, did manage to sneak off by tethering RDO. But a lot of aggression here. Schofield pretty far under the tower. You love to see it, these deep dives at the start. Mid lane, Tomato getting pushed back here by Hiko on the Invoker. Of course, you do have the last hit advantage right now, so that's bound to happen. Ooh, tries to get the ranged creep with that Ether Remnant, but ends up missing. Pulls Hiko forward, but he's just going to regen up with these points into Quas. Having a pretty good time. I think as this lane goes forward, it'll be a little bit easier for Hiko. Again, you have the Quelling Blade, you have the base damage advantage. Invoker, I think, is into scales quite a bit better. Yeah, 3.1 on the Void Spirit to the 4.6 on Invoker.
God's Rebuke over bottom. Harassing Hector as much as they can. They've got Moose early level in the Voodoo Restoration. We've seen a lot of Maledict early, a lot of casks early. At least for this TB, by the time that Metamorphosis is back up, I'll assume that Moose is going to be level 3, or by the time they want to use that Metamorphosis again, so he might go into the Maledict afterwards.
Dire's courier.
The Cask with the Maledict, Metamorphosis, a little right-click damage, especially with that meta hitting that level 2 at level 3.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen this time and time again. Poppy made this particularly popular over in the Omega League. This Voodoo Restoration, maxing, Witch Doctor. You know, just constantly having clarities active on himself, keeping up the HP of that hard right-click carry. But the aggression, of course, out of the Witch Doctor is nice as well. And having that flexibility. One of the bad parts of the hero is he is very susceptible to getting gone on. His armor is very low. His movement speed is mediocre, 300. So he can just get gone on and blown up by the enemy heroes. Especially somebody like Mars. Again, he's slow with the Gods of Beak, got the Spear of Mars. Speaking of people getting gone on, the other core takes a little bit of damage when K1 Hector pops his Metamorphosis.
Still Wood Spirit over mid. Ooh, Tomato. Gotta be careful. Spear connects on the Witch Doctor. Now moves. Bottom throws a Maledict out. God's Rebuke, right clicks. Voodoo Restoration won't be enough, but the right clicks from Hector will at least trade Theolicor. Sexy Fat able to retreat. I'm happy that Sexy Fat is not on this Bloodseeker.
Yeah, his impact is a little bit lower than some of these other Bloodseekers we've seen this tournament. I think that's just partially due to his team not being able to secure those early kills for him. But partially also due to the fact that when Sexy Fat has been on the Bloodseeker, the enemies have picked kind of high movement speed heroes that play against it. So when you're not landing those blood rates on the enemies to get the harass off, it's just not as strong. So high movement speed heroes against the Bloodseeker seems to have been the counter. And I think they finally picked up on that, some of these other teams. Because the Bloodseeker kind of came in out of nowhere. And they're like, okay, well, how do we deal with this then? We can't play the Oracle against it. He's just going to nuke people down. The pure damage means I can't get that magic damage immunity. And they're like, oh, what if we just walked out of the circle? That is wild. That's an option, you guys? Sure, let's do it. So, of course, some of these high movement speed heroes, Terrorblade at 315, Sven at like 320, Legion Commander at like 330, Chaos Knight as well. And so those have been pretty popular heroes to play in response to the Bloodseeker. Microphone's not working on the side of Haven Liberty, so I'll take a second to fix that. You know, me personally, never had a microphone issue in my life, minus the last
couple minutes. Fair enough.
Yeah, just needed it to boost my levels a little bit. I had it on negative decimal. I don't know what it's called. Either way, my tech guys are great. They've recommended me tons of really good gear. It's just a matter of me, punching in the right numbers to make things work properly. Shout out to my dudes, Kazkron and Pythian Legume, who I wish was here with us today producing for us. But he's producing for them in the big leagues now. Doesn't have time for us little people.
I just wish that I wasn't dropping internet.
I was gonna say you wish you had a Pythian in your home to
I do wish
consult
that
at all
too, but it
times.
wouldn't stop me from losing internet. That's for sure.
I wish I had a Pythian in my home.
Just a Pythian?
Yeah. Or Kazkron. Make sure that my cables are well managed. Kiko just launched Dota up again. I got that insider information. I have him on my friends list. So he'll be back in just a sec, I imagine. Just reconnecting to the game now. He actually opted to go a point in reflection on this Terrorblade, and so he popped Metamorphosis again at level 1, which only gives him like a boost of 20 damage. Doesn't feel very good. I'm not sure why he went for this point of reflection either. It's not really like you're playing against a Venomancer or something, where that 1 point will give you so much harass because, it'll hit him back with the same amount of poison sting that he has. So the reflection feels a bit odd to me, but I'm not about to question, K1, Hector, SA Dota 2 position 1 god, top 8 TI player.
back and started. Even at 1 so far, 4 minutes into the game. Is there any, what are the tempos for these teams? Is it faster for Haven Liberty? Making sure that this TB really can't get off the ground?
I think it's faster for Haven Liberty, yeah. They have an easier time rotating around the map. They can disengage with the Invoker. You have these cooldowns, you have a cooldown to play around in the form of Metamorphosis, and that's a little bit harder than God's Strength. Sven's able to get a lot more done without his transformation ability compared to the Terrorblade. So, again, easier time for Haven Liberty, I imagine. But it all depends on, like, I guess how this mid lane goes. If Tomato is able to just pop off here against Tico. And right now it's pretty back and forth. Even lane, 26-5 on the Void Spirit to the 24-6 on Invoker. This is kind of what you imagine, though. I was talking about that at the start. You have the extra base damage on the Void Spirit. You have the Quelling Blade. It's easier for you to pull aggro. But as he starts to level up, like you don't have the harass on the Invoker as he has all these points into Quas, and you have these spells to sort of clear out the wave a little bit faster. Doing what he can here at the moment, going into the small camp, clearing this out. But, unfortunately, because of the heroes on Haven Liberty rotating and grabbing some of these other bounty runes, you're having a harder time. You do start to make your way to stack for your core heroes. Everyone on this team could basically take that, so it doesn't really matter what he does. I'm not sure what he's doing. Okay, TP down here, the bottom lane. Fight breaking out.
Inkswell looking at Theo Core. Inkswell doesn't land. Maledict should proc and kill off the Rubik, as it does. Okay, moves in Schofield down here, helping out Hector, who's 30-6. The CS on the top 4 are pretty close. Really, the top 6 is pretty close.
Yeah, they are. Everybody above 30 at the moment, and 2 people at 26 just below them. Here when Hector with the Metamorph popped again. Looks like Schofield wants to try and set up a kill on Hiko, but, it's really hard to be able to kill this Quas Wex Invoker. Again, when he's got the points into Quas, he's got, like, 30 HP regen a second right now. He moves very quick when his points are in Wex. And you have to commit under like a cold snap, under a tornado. You lose all your mana to his EMP. I feel like you're just kind of wasting your time over here on Schofield. And they're fine with that on Theo Lecor. He says, you know what? We know Grimstroke's there. I sort of scouted him out. I'm just going to leave him.
Maledict action from Moose, but won't really grab anything from it. Meanwhile, over mid again, you've got the Void Spirit sitting low. However, filled up the bottle with the double damage. So Tomato, can you do anything to Hiko?
You know what? Yes, if Schofield comes back mid again, I feel like they do have enough to bring him down. Again, when you have that Astral Step, especially double Astral Step to gap close, you have that Inkswell to stun him out, and you have that DD rune, which of course is going to scale with that Astral Step. It's difficult. But by himself, I don't think he can do anything. You actually see, even though you pop the DD rune on Tomato here, he opted to get back out of the lane. The reason he did that is, of course, you have the Tornado on Hiko. If you approach the Invoker or the lane too closely, he's just going to Tornado you. It gets dispelled, and you're a very sad Void Spirit.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Top lane, Duster tethers up to RDO. They're having a time, a picnic in the jungle. They're both going to stack a camp over here. I say the Duster, come on, you almost missed that one, buddy. Oh, he tries to go for 2. Oh, he gets them. I'm wrong. He's right. He's the best Wisp player I've ever seen. Okay. Take notes, everyone. Bottom lane, Theo Lecor, dropping very low. Is going to drop this Maledict.
Or K1 getting the final blow.
Even better. But 3 points in this cleave. Treads are on agility right now. RDO probably go clear up these 3 stacks that the 2 of them just made with his God Strength. Nice and quick. Let's go, RDO. Let's see it. Pop it.
Bottom, but they got the Phantom's Embrace out on the Sexy Fat, so I believe he wasn't able to get the spear off, or he missed it.
Ooh, you hate to see it.
Either way, Schofield able to just walk away from that one.
Yep. And, of course, we see them clearing up these camps over here, taking even faster because of that overcharge. It's not like you're taking very big steps.
Bottom getting killed off by Hector. Maledict casking the right quick damage with the Metamorphosis. Terribly just ripping through this Rubik.
What was he doing over there? I didn't watch him approach, but that definitely seems like somewhere you don't want to be. Terrorblade's just able to click you down.
Stormhammer.
Yeah, it's not going to mean a whole lot, though. Again, your damage is being reduced by this aura on the Underlord. Your God Strength is on cooldown. You're sitting on a bit of gold right now as well. Your Mask of Madness is coming at you on the Sven. His farm speed is going to increase significantly. Mid lane. Tomato gets gone on, but he does have 2 charges of Astral Step available, so they're not going to be able to kill him. They smoke up on Tomato despite him sitting at such low HP. A bold move, Bkop. Let's see how it works for him.
Here on BTS, the Ocha. Sven just continuing to fall. He sits very close to Hector.
Schofield is just dead.
Spot Duster. Hiku gets the kill, and a Schofield Duster tethers away. He's got Maledict on him. He'll TP into the base and survive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Eats a Fairy Fire for good measure. Might have been a little bit overkill. The raindrops course.
Telekinesis on a Hector. Hiku's right here. Tornado comes out. He doesn't have Sunder. Get a kill on a Hector, a big one nonetheless. You know, invading the jungle, but not too deep. He was on the shallow lines of that jungle, and with Deocore coming around, the way he got caught out the last time was doing something similar. This time he finds himself a TP, so that'll give time for RDO to continue to farm.
Yep. All right, they take... does a little bit of damage here to the top lane, only 1 point in the trophy aura, so your base damage isn't that high. Catapult will do some damage to this tower, though. Same with Moose being in here, actually taking up the tower. Whisper, you're letting your boy down. This guy's got 4 armor. You're supposed to stand up for him. Catapult takes a shot, but, you know, he keeps it under the tower. Moose, the God Gamer, knowing that his body is nothing compared to this siege creep. Puts it on the line. Bottom lane, he rotates to.
Maledict, Cask, and then just the spear. Moose kind of throws that out and then ends up dead. They're going to relocate in, look over at Schofield to get a second. Dissimulate. Tomato, ooh, hit with the tornado. So they still caught him. He'll try to TP out. Spear thrown randomly. It won't catch anybody, but they got the tier 1 bottom. So very well done by Haven Liberty.
Tomato says, you know what? That's fine. I'm just going to go mid. I'm happy to be alive. Teleports down there. Sits in the river for a little bit and takes advantage of that ocean heart he's got going on. But, you know, nice plays there by Haven Liberty. The only big... one of the big mistakes I did see out of Beast Coast right there was, like I said, Whisper not tanking up the tower to keep that catapult on it for Moose. So Moose had to TP down there with very low HP. It made the fight much harder for him, allowing Mars to take him out with just that 1 arena and spear. If he had a bit more bulk and he had to commit harder for him, that fight would be harder for Haven Liberty to take. Things have slowed down a little bit, though. Moose,
good for RDO.
Yeah.
Ooh, stack.
Which stack? Oh.
Ancients.
How could I miss this? There you go. Gets the Black Dragon. Now, gold in the bank now. 1,500 gold, or sorry, 1,050 gold from his Sanjin Yasha. Which, of course, it being a decent item for taking fights, also really great for farming. Move that much quicker around the jungle and the map. Go from lane to lane, especially with this Wisp. He's got the Iron Talon as well. We'll speed things up. Courtesy of those earlier stacks that he took. He managed to find it just around that 7-minute mark. So that was big for them. Again, stacking these 3 camps, taking it at 7 minutes, allowing your team to get so many neutral items because of it, can help secure you an advantage. So take notes, everyone. Stack the camps, clear them at 7. Get an advantage for your team while jungling. That is the only time being a jungler is acceptable. Otherwise, push the goddamn lanes. I've lost way too many games while I was climbing recently for my core heroes just kind of sitting in the jungle AFKing. There's nothing we can do. I need farm. I can't touch the enemy heroes till I'm 6 slotted.
Well, we saw that the other day. Couldn't touch the enemy until they were 9 slotted.
We did see that actually, so it does get some free hands.
Tornado with the ice wall down. Moose in trouble. Fade Bolt. Moose trying to survive with the Voodoo Restoration, but they've got the Telekinesis. Eco gets the kill, and all of a sudden the Grimstroke bottom in the arena. Schofield getting chased. One more shot from Sexy Fat needed to get the kill, and it's there. However, with the rotation from Tomato, ooh, locks him up with a spear. For a second, I thought maybe Sexy Fat gets caught and they trade.
No, he's a little bit too hard to bring down, and of course he does have that important Astral Step. He's got Dissimulate. This is a very hard hero to catch. If you commit on him, you need some sort of lockdown. All the Spirit heroes are like this. What? Yule's finished now on Mars. And Yule's almost finished on the Void Spirit as well. Again, this D-Spell is going to do a lot of work for him. He's going to be able to dodge like the Mars Spear. He's going to be able to survive a little bit longer in the arena. There's the Cold Snap, the Spirit Vessel on the Invoker they won't have to deal with anymore. Haven Liberty trying to invade the enemy jungle. But this is so bad for them. Like, they do get the bounty rune, yeah, but they've committed all 4 heroes over here, and all their camps are already taken by the enemies. So they get little for invading there. They need to start taking towers. Again, this mid one's still being up for both sides. Somebody's going to have to commit. And we've got catapults now.
Radiant structures are fortified.
It is wild to see in 2020 how these... Oh?
On a Sexy Fat. Trying to keep control onto him. There's the arena down. Tomato goes into it. Has the Dissimulate. Soulbound on the 2. And lose? He'll die, but they'll lose Sexy Fat. Pit of Malice locks up Theo. Akura is trying to kill off Tomato. Won't have the damage to do so. But they look over. Oh, no. Into the Pit of Malice. Duster. Hector, meanwhile, he's hitting the top lane while this fight rages on bottom.
They do have the lockdown for him between Cold Snap, Spirit Vessel, you know. He tried to get the Sunder off. It looks like he did get the cast point for it, but it didn't really matter. I imagine whoever he sundered just healed up off of that right away. Yeah, look at that damage. 1,200 by Sven, 1,200 by Invoker. Your team is nowhere near you to give you a hand.
Dark Rift, Inkswell, Stormhammer, and the Spear. It's not enough.
It almost looked like the spear is what sent them into another dimension. Sexy Fat threw the spear so hard that they disappeared from the game. Almost level 12 on the Mars here. Extra port in arena will make things a little bit easier for them.
Yeah, extra duration, extra spear damage. RDO, meanwhile, he's got the Mask of Madness. Sanjin Yasha, we've been seeing the status resistance build come out from a lot of these Fens. Going BKB, Ags, and then I would say, what, Satanic afterwards to get that status resistance higher?
Yep. And this is going for the Mantis, or sorry, he has the Sanjin Yasha. Now he's going for the Scotty on this Terrorblade. Definitely pretty good against the Invoker. Good against IO.
Hector again, Spear. Not what connects on him. Not that it matters. Astral Step forward from Tomato. Gets the Aether Remnant on RDO, but now he's in trouble. Ooh, stolen Aether Remnant. Hits onto Tomato and locks him up for a split second. They've got the Inkswell from Schofield right on the Mars. Maledict comes in from Moose. The damage is there to finish off Sexy Fat. Ooh. Moose is the one who gets the kill. They end up trading 1-for-1, but this slows down the Terrorblade.
Yeah. He is the most important thing for your team. You do have a couple of answers for him from Haven Liberty. Again, Bulwark, especially when it's active, being able to absorb some of his Terrorblade's shots and reducing the damage from it by like 70% is very big for them in these later fights. But him going down is going to make it so they don't even have to worry about that. Sven obviously out farming him right now, net worth about 2,000 higher.
I like the little Aether Remnant is Rubik. It's not just Void Spirit.
Yeah, I mean, that was a case for a lot more of his spells when he was released, and like when a lot of the spells came out. Like even when you stole any of Techie's abilities on Rubik, when Techie's was released, he'd get the Minefield sign. It had a little Rubik face on it.
They go after Sexy Fat. Yule's up. Staying alive for now. Bulwarks tries to run out of the arena. Now they turn it. Stormhammer and the Spear. Down goes Tomato. Followed by Moose. They don't even lose the Mars.
No. They don't have to commit God Strength to that one either. So if they want to take Roshan or they want to push the tower, they'll have God Strength to make it that much quicker here. RDO is going to be pleased about that one as he gets closer to his Black King bar. Just completed it, actually. It's being flown out to him. And a huge amount of their damage right now is the magic. Terrorblade not anywhere close to where he needs to be to take this fight to Sven. Actually, what's he doing? Does he have something on the courier? He's got the ultimate orb, but he stopped queuing up this Scotty that he had earlier. Or am I crazy? Where's his courier? Just one ultimate orb that he's got at the moment. I think he might go back and turn this into a Mantis style. The D-spell would be pretty helpful for him. Only need another couple hundred gold for it as well. Is that what he's sending out himself? We'll see in just a second. I want to look away from him.
In the net worth, he's so high up compared to this TV.
Yep. All right, now. The IO, of course, making this Sven farm just even faster. Once in a while, when he needs to, he can relocate him to another lane. He clears it out very quickly, then goes right back to where he was before. We might see that happen in the top lane in a second here, but they're waiting to 20 minutes. They want to get these bounty runes. Beast Coast not in position.
Ooh, Hector. Telekinesis. Spirit Vessel on him. And now goes the Inkswell, but there's the arena. Sunders immediately. Inkswell pops, but the Stormhammer comes in from this RDO. Sven with one more shot. They'll get the kill. They'll take out Hector again. Game is not as bad as his Gyro game, but it's certainly not feeling great. Double Astral Step as well as the Aether Remnant, but it doesn't land. They've got the Silence out onto the Sven. RDO trying to fight back. Stormhammer comes through into the Void Spirit. The Spear lands him onto the trees. Hiko gets the kill on a moves. Now they've got the Aether Remnant locking up the Invoker. But Schofield, as well as Tamato, trying to survive, goes into the Dissimulate right on top of Sexy Fat, as well as the Rubik of Theo Akor. They have the root. They look for the stun. The ulti comes in from Moose. Has enough damage to kill off Theo Akor after the Maledict. Dark Rift trying to leave. They get the kill on Theo Akor. Can they get Tamato out? Yes, they can. He survives somehow. Moose, Buddha Restoration into the trees. Sunstrike a little too south. Also, Schofield, he's getting chased down where the tier 1 used to stand.
He's just going to be a footnote on this fight, though, as he drops here. Yeah, there we go. Duster getting that last hit. But in that team fight, Invoker ended up doing a lot of work, Sven, and getting kited a bit. But this Void Spirit, you're going to need a little bit more lockdown for him. Tomato is mostly getting to do what he wants with your lack of stuns. You have a couple things here. You have Rubik. He's got 2 points of telekinesis. You do have the Stormbolt from Sven, actually, in the middle of that fight. He did use the Stormbolt in his 15 talent to dispel the double damage rune that Tamad had. That was pretty nice. But he's getting away with so much. He is the #1 target that your team needs to focus on. And I feel like they almost need a sheep set, a sheep on the Invoker to really be able to finish him off. We might see that come out in a little bit. He gets just a couple hundred gold away from his eggs. The Radiant Fortify in the creep wave is like a big middle finger to Haven Liberty, though, because he just about had it. I think that tornado would have gotten it to him, for him. Almost. Another 30 gold here. Now, Aghanim Scepter complete for Invoker, just flying it out on the courier, and we'll see what his next item is in just a minute. RDO as well, almost has his Aghanim Scepter, allow him to get on top of these enemy heroes. It'll make so Void Spirit isn't able to just Yules himself up when the when the Stormbolt flies at him. Dissimulate will allow him to dodge, but it's going to be even more difficult for him to deal with this Sven. He works on his own Aghanim Scepter. Everyone in the audience gets an Aghanim Scepter, Bkop.
It's under your chairs. Look now.
Take a reach, everyone. Wish we could do that with Monster, sneak into every viewer's house and put a monster under their chair. Neph, how did you do this? This is creepy. Don't do this again. Duster tethers up to the Sven again. Helps him clear out these ancients. The game has slowed down once more, but 5k up on Haven Liberty. They're looking pretty good. Rubik sitting behind Invoker here. Just has an Aether Lens, and that's it. Not having the best game. 1-6 right now on Theo Akor. He's an easy target for these enemies to jump on. It's going to get even harder for him once the Tomato does finish this Aghanim Scepter. Another 700 gold away from it. But everyone pleased to sit back and farm. But, you have your items right now. You're 700 gold away from the Blink Dagger on Theo Akor. But with eggs finished on Invoker, with Blink Dagger Yules finished on Mars, They want to take the fight to the enemy team. They can't find anything, though. I think enemies realized they might have been looking for something just now and started to back off. Oh, no. They see the TP from K1, I think. They pig him out. Is that too deep for them to go for, though? That's the question. Did they have vision of him? I'm pretty sure they did.
Still head south. Find the Grimstroke, which I think if you're Hector, you're happy about.
Mm-hmm. Sexy fat. Didn't really have to commit too much for that one. Arena's still available. Roshan is up as well, but again, you don't really want to take a fight with the enemy heroes until you manage to bring down this Terrorblade, until you can bring down the Void Spirit. I think Roche is out of the question, even though you're 6k up.
Looking over, relocate, coming in, Pit of Malice down. They're going to try and get the kills here. They've got themselves the Arena as well as the Spear. The Dark Rifle won't go off. They'll get the kill on to Whisper. They go even further. Stormhammer, 2-shot on the moves. Witch Doctor can't even survive all that. So a couple of kills for Haven Liberty. That should be right by Roche, enough to just move over and get out of town.
Yeah. You know, like I was saying, you do want to bring down either this Terrorblade or the Void Sphere before going for Roche. You have the God Strength available. You can bring it down pretty fast, but Void Spirit, I hear he's pretty good at snatching this Aegis. We'll see what he does.
Maybe pop by Hector. There's the double Astral Step. They've got the Silence Ice Wall down. Aegis into the hands of Tomato, and the kill for the Radiant side. Wow.
Yeah. Not bad at all. They've just forced a retreat. Look at that. Beast Coast, just like that, they inched their way back in this game by snagging that one. Oh, they are pissed with Void Spirit, though.
Void Spirit losing that first life.
Can they bring him down twice? I'm not sure they can.
Oh, not with
Spear off the mark.
Soulbind.
Okay, God Strength is now.
Forward, Theo 4. Tornado comes in, and now that hits onto a bunch of these heroes. Deafening Blast within Theo Akor's Pit of Malice, and they just can't walk out of it. It is a pain in the ass, but they've got the Arena down, moves in it. Aether Remnant locks up the Mars, and he's trying to survive it. Here comes RDO, here comes Duster. They get themselves one. They look over at K1, who doesn't have Metamorphosis anymore. Continue to survive.
RDO, just popping this creep wave down. You did manage to burn through Tomato's Aegis in that fight, but still, you feel so bad letting him have that Roshan Aegis. This should be your time.
Getting the gold off that is a rough feeling.
Yeah, let him play really far forward there too. They didn't get much more out of it than the gold from Roshan, of course. Is that the Aegis didn't end up being used to take a team fight or anything like that. No enemy heroes going down there, but top lane, Hiko has got to be careful.
Astral Step, double silence coming through. Hiko trying to run, but he's hit with the Phantom's Embrace. Nowhere for him to run. Schofield gets credit for that kill.
Yep, he's still pretty susceptible to getting gone on. He's got a BKB queued up now, but at the moment, you know, we talked about this Grimstroke combo at the start. If you got the Phantom's you got the Inkswell, you jump forward with the Aether Remnant, or sorry, the Astral Step, you're just dead on the back line. So that BKB coming up on Invoker is going to be very big for their team.
Middle tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
Whisper, Lotus Orb, as well as the Rod of Atos. Take a look over at what Hector's got. He's going into the Butterfly, and then will elect to finish the Scotty. We'll see if he can get that far. Meanwhile, RDO, I mean, he's having a great time. He's got a Chrysalis, and I mean, we saw he's trying to finish a Daedalus.
No, he's got the Daedalus recipe on the courier, in fact. Just another 120 gold from this Daedalus. Now, damage is going to come out pretty fast once he's got this. Here it is. Flies over to him. Does he take the Mindbreaker? He does. You know, I'd sort of disagree. The 25 attack speed is nice, but that silence is not going to be that useful. Again, when you jump on someone with your Aghanim Scepter, you get that initial melee attack off onto him. With the Ibclaw, it's great. You get a critical strike for your first attack, guaranteed. But when you have this Mindbreaker, you're silencing them for the second and a half, and they're stunned for the 2 seconds at that silence anyway. So, I mean, you're essentially not silencing them. Mid lane.
Whisper caught. And Relocate coming in, but there's the Cataclysm blowing them up. And now they're going to look for more. Moose. Cast comes in, but look at that Stormhammer. It bounces around. It won't keep them alive. They'll get themselves a second. Hector's up top. He's got Metamorphosis available. Really much he can do.
No, I think he's trying to split push the wave, slow down some of this aggression coming up from Haven Liberty, but, there's no brakes on the RDO train right now.
No, not at all.
Clears up that tower, pops that war cry, goes back to farming right away. He's got the MKB queued up next. I think he sees that quarterstaff in K1's inventory. He goes, you know what? Might be time to get that MKB, or at least queue it up. Get myself that gold for it so you don't manage to take a team fight against me with that 35% evasion. Not giving them an inch here. RDO cleaving through this tower with the alacrity. No time at all. Down to 350 HP. They want to take the fight here on Beast Coast. They're set up for it. Here we go. The donks.
Spear, cast, bouncing around. They've got the Pitamelis down. Aether Remnant, RDO surviving. Soulbind, not sure that's going to matter. Good Tornado. Lotus Ormond, Astral Steps, silence on a 4 of these heroes. They still go after Duster. They get the kill onto the Wisp. Arena down just to disengage. So not terrible from Haven Liberty if they can get out completely. But BKB's been popped by Hector. Now they've got themselves the Fable. Running away is Hiko. He gets out of this one with the telekinesis coming through on to the Terrible.
Yep. You didn't want to commit that hard. Commit so many abilities in order to disengage, but just losing the Wisp there after they pop that Metamorphosis and ran at you is fine, I feel. Maybe wait for this next Roshan, get a couple more items on Haven Liberty, and then you're ready to take the push to the enemy team. You were feeling pretty strong right there, though, with Terrible not quite having finished this Butterfly. Sven not having to give up any items quite yet. He's got the Mask of Madness, which, again, he can't swap out for this Satanic, giving him the extra status resistance, but there's a couple things going wrong in these fights for Haven Liberty that they can deal with items. The BKB on Invoker is a big one. He still got that queued up. Hasn't made much progress in the last couple of minutes, in fact. And in that last fight, those donks could have been prevented with the BKB and kept them in it.
Whisper again, relocate over. Down goes this Underlord. He's 3-3-3.
He's a big boy, but, against the entire team of Haven Liberty, goes down pretty quickly. He's got the Demon Edge in his backpack. Maybe goes, maybe I'll build a Divine Rapier. That gives me True Strike as well, doesn't it? Don't need to go for this MKB. MKB is for small boys. Divine Rapier for big boys. And RDO is a big boy.
Buster, RDO with Hiko over in the Radiant Triangle.
Clears up these Ancients nice and quick. But again, just setting up around this pit. Another minute and 30 seconds before they're ready to do it. They got the courier flying over it as well. Ooh, top lane. They do manage to find moves here on the Witch Doctor. Theo Lacour. He finally finds something. He's been having a rough game.
Yeah, moves 3-10-5.
Mid.
Meanwhile, mid arena down, spear hits onto the Void Spirit. Tomato, he's in a lot of trouble. And with the relocate and the Storm Hammer coming in, Tomato just dies straight up.
They finally managed to bring him down.
Got the spear out onto the Underlord. Cataclysm coming through, looking for the Dark Rift. No chance he gets that off. The damage is just way too much. Now they'll find themselves the Grimstroke. Yule's up into the air. Spear back into the trees. Storm Hammer double shot. Ooh, Terrorblade's Courier. If they were able to grab that, would have stopped him from getting that Eagle Song.
Yeah, slowing down that Butterfly would have been big, but, you're pretty happy about that fight you just took. Net worth going about 3,000 in the favor of Haven Liberty after that. 6,000 XP. I don't think you're going to be able to get Roshan off the back of that one, but tier 2 would be a nice consolation prize.
Whisper in trouble once again, stunned up, getting hit by RDO. He ends up dead. They go for Duster. They've got the silence onto a bunch of these heroes. Hector looking for the Sunder, and he can't get it off. He ends up going down. He's dead for 62 seconds. I don't know how you can defend without this. They've got the Yules out onto the Mars. BKB ends on Hiko. Ice Wall down. Cold Snap comes in. Spear lands on the tree. No, a little bit short, but it doesn't matter. God's Rebuke comes through, and Hiko will finish off moves. Telekinesis out onto Tomato. Disarmed. Now on the run with the Spirit Vessel. Continuing to just defend. It is just not that easy. RDO, he'll take tier 2 tower.
Sexy Fat tries to TP home, but they have the Yules on the Grimstroke. Does manage to stop him. Yules after Yules after Yules, and Tomato just dead again, and I think that could be it for them. When he doesn't have buyback, when they're diving your tier 4s, you got to feel pretty helpless. I wouldn't be surprised if a GG came out right here. How do you deal with this Sven when he's this far ahead? God straight back up in another 20 seconds, but they're just going to rip through your buildings. RDO stood still for a second there. That was a little bit weird. But oh my god, the damage from this Sven when the Alacrity's on him, when this overcharge is on him.
Can't stop him.
2 taken down. Beast Coast not looking too hot. God's Strength comes out. Another tier 3 goes down. Your Rax goes down. Another one.
But what do you do? Over to bottom, and they'll make it mega creeps in just a second.
Yeah. Another Alacrity, if you would please, Hiko. Thank you very much, sir. Sometimes you get a stopwatch from me to see how quickly they manage to take all those buildings in their base.
No, seriously, very quickly. Now they go for Whisper once again. Through Akura ends up dead. He's gone without buyback, but look at these right clicks coming through. K1 dies again, and I mean, that is certainly it. GG finally called by Beastcoast.
K1 not looking too hot this game. Sam goes for the mid. I mean, Tomato, he did an all-right job, but Beast Coast really didn't come online. They didn't make the space for Terrorblade like we normally see Beast Coast do for the position 1. Definitely feeling a lot weaker than they were at the start of this tournament, but Haven Liberty finally starting to pop off, despite, being so low here in the groups. It's a shame they didn't get this kind of explosive start at the beginning of this tournament. So game number 1 going the way of Haven Liberty. Nice performance by everyone on their team. RDO 14-0-6 on the Sven. Deathless.
Yeah, very good for RDO. Was able to just absolutely destroy these heroes and ends up deathless. Yeah, it looks great. Perfect from him, perfect from Haven Liberty. They move on to the next game with 1-0 lead. Maybe they could take the series. That would be great for them.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly, they would have loved that. So let's see what they're able to accomplish. We'll be back with the next game in just a moment. Stay right there. We'll see you in a second.